Meisterville? It's your boy Buckmeister, twice the nice that you are used to, Sharp Blampson, and today we are talking static issue number 1. So hi, if you're new here, my name is Buckmeister Cool from Meister Geek Media. I talk all sorts of geek media, from the comic books and the superheroes to the mangas and the animes and the sci-fis. If any of that sounds cool to you, please feel free to tickle that subscribe button and the bell button so you'll never miss a video. So yes, static issue number 1 is finally dropped. It looks beautiful. I love the cover art and everything. And let's get into this book. Let's talk about it because finally Milestone is back. Finally. But we do have to talk about how it's very different from the static that we've gotten before. So for me, I'm a person who read the original run of Static by, the Dwayne McDuffie, Dennis Cowan team, Milestone 1.0, basically. Yeah, I read all of that. I watched the cartoon. I watched all 4 seasons of the cartoon, which is fantastic, by the way, and all of that good stuff. And yeah, like this opening feels very, very different from all of that. Like, as a person who's been a big fan of Static for a very long time, I even stopped watching Young Justice because of the way they introduced Static in that series. I did not like it at all, and whatever. It felt it didn't feel like Static to me, and that was enough to put me off of the show because that's how much I love this character. But looking at coming into this book, you're getting an amalgamation. You're getting an amalgamation of a lot of things because for one, for those of us that have read the Statics books that have come before, the Big Bang, first off, they change it. Like, if you read Milestone and Zero, what's this? You know that it's a protest where the Big Bang happens, right? And then after said protest or whatever, then you get the Bang Babies who get all their powers and all of that crazy, wonderful stuff. But they make it a bit more visceral. Not that it was not visceral in the first place, but like it's still like this Static has more of an edge to him than the Static that comes from before. Like the Static that comes from before, he still dealt with dark issues, but he felt very more happy-go-lucky. Whereas in this, I don't know if realistic is the term or whatever, but they're making the consequences of what happened way more apparent. Which, I mean, for some people, they'll like. For me, I'm still on the fence about it a little bit, to be honest, because it's not that it's bad, it's just that it's very different. And we live in an age where different is horrible. So it's not horrible. It's just, it's that thing of is it my bias? I'm just trying to reconcile with the changes that they've made. And you still see a lot of the happy-go-lucky Static in there, and you're hoping that it does, shine more through in the book. But they definitely made this way more somber in the beginning. So we're just trying to see where they're gonna fall with this particular portrayal of Static. Because I mean, as of right now, it's not that it's bad. It's just that I like the original origin a bit better. In my personal opinion. I mean, again, I'm not, against any of this. I understand what they're going for. It's just that I'm like, yeah, I'm a little bit like that. And I can see, like, OG Static fans being a little bit like that when it comes to this book. Again, it's not to say that it's bad, it's just to say that it's different, and it looks like it's pulling from different versions and sources of what Static was in media. So, again, it's not, yeah, it's just, expect a little bit more of an edge to him, which, I mean, they make it make sense in the book. It's not something that comes out of nowhere. They make it make sense, but you're just like, man, I want my Static to say I put a shock to your system. We get a beautiful action scene. We get some beautiful action scenes because this Static, I guess, with the reboot, they've made him, or they've made his family a little bit more militant. They've not militant. Militant's not the word, but like okay. So first off and foremost, they've made the dynamic in between the brother and the sister way more. It's not it's not what it was. Like before, like they were just siblings that used to just fight for no reason, and they used to pull pranks on each other, and you know what I'm saying. Like you knew that they loved each other, but they would just try to get each other as hard as possible. And I mean, as much as I loved those books, because I really do, that was just one aspect of them where I was like, yeah, I have sisters. We get at each other's necks sometimes, especially when we were kids. But you kind of move past that, so they definitely matured that in that aspect, or whatever the case is. So I like that. The parents are still pretty much what the parents were in the books before. Like they're still pretty good, which is I like them. The dad is just way more. I don't know if he's military or if he's army, but like he does know martial arts or whatever the case is. So he's transferred some of that to Virgil. You know what I'm saying? Because it's common sense. Like what's this? There's recently been like a narrative, and I don't know. I mean, I'm personally, you do what you want, but there is a sense of it's not because it's a masculine thing. It's not some masculine toxic thing to be able to defend yourself. Like, you know what I'm saying? So teaching your kids how to fight if you can, and if they're receptive to it, it's not a bad thing, because you're gonna get in situations where you have to defend yourself. Like you shouldn't be going out there seeking fights. That's something that also his dad is putting a very much hard line about in the book. But like, if you gotta fight, you gotta fight. Like especially to protect yourself and to protect your life and to protect the people that you care about, type of thing. So they're doing that thing as well in this book. And yeah, it was cool, and I appreciated it, and it led to a very, very cool action scene in the book. I feel like the action scene was a bit early. Like I feel like it was early. I don't know if that's the case. Maybe it's just in the sense that when they start again, I'm comparing it to the original Milestone run, which I mean I kind of have to, because that's my frame of reference. But maybe it's because just the way that they started out there, I enjoyed it a little bit more than the way they started out here. So I mean, and I can't think of an objective reason why. Every reason I think of is subjective in a sense. So, like, again, I don't want anybody to get the wrong impression. I did enjoy reading this book, but the biggest thing for me is that it was different. So, yeah, I'm just trying to balance that out. Because, yeah, the action scene that we get, it has very high consequences from what I can see. And it even has more consequences for the future. And maybe it's just because I'm looking for some comic book magic, because this is kind of injecting some realism into the static universe like that, which is I'm sure on purpose, because the way things break down is probably kind of the way things would break down if such a situation were to happen, especially if you read Milestone Zero. So we'll see. We'll see. We'll see where it goes. We'll see where it goes. Yeah, I don't want it to be too gritty. You know what I'm saying? Like I want happy-go-lucky static, and definitely it makes a difference, and definitely you want to see happy-go-lucky static, especially as an OG static fan. As I said, with the action scenes, the consequences are high, and the ending of this issue number one is it's a lot. It's like okie dokie. That's where we're ending this. Okay. So, we'll have to see exactly how all of this pans out. You know what I'm saying? I definitely hope that they don't make it too too hardcore, too edgy or whatever I'm saying. Like they still touch on the topics. I just hope that they strike the balance that the first volume, or the first 40 issues from Milestone 1.0. I just hope that they catch that balance a whole lot better. I'm really, really praying for that, because I mean, it looks like they got it. It looks like they got it, but it can go either way. And I think if it goes the way of Edge, a la YG Young Justice, YJ, YJ Young Justice, Static, I can tell you that I'm not gonna enjoy the book. There might be people out there that will, but I'm just saying, I feel like making Static edgy is not cool. I think the reason why he works is because in a world that's full of edge, he's kind of like the bright spot, akin to like a Spider-Man or whatever. So yeah, I'm hoping for that. I'm hoping they get that right, and I'm sure they'll get it right. I know they know what they're doing. It's just it's very different. The biggest thing for me is that this book is very different from what I expected, and some people may take that out a good way. I'm still, again, I can say I'm still on the fence. I still enjoyed it, but I'm just like, so it's it. If I'm being honest, it's just my bias towards the original book. That's all that it is. Like, it's just my bias towards the original book. So we'll just have to see exactly how it goes. So what do you think, Meisterville? Let me know in the comment section down below. Have you read Static Issue number 1? Talk to your boy. I'm trying to review this every time it comes out. For all 12 issues, I think. I think it's a 12-issue run. So we're going to see how that goes. I hope it's well received, because Static needs to come back and everything. And we're going to see exactly how all of this beautiful stuff turns out. Again, the art is amazing. The colors are amazing. And the story is good. It's just, it's different, and I'm fighting that inner nerd rage where I'm like, I don't want different, I wanted the thing that I had from before. So, it's there. It's there, I'm not gonna lie. But, I understand why they're doing what they're doing. Look at that! You made it to the end of the video. You are spectacular. If you really like this video, I got another one up here. I got a playlist down there, and I got an icon you can click on to subscribe. Remember to ring the bell if you do subscribe, and I'll see you all in another video, because my man's gotta be out. Peace!